The Manchester United season has been a little bit all over the place, to say the least. Every time there is some sniff of positivity, we seem to get hit with a negative. And whilst we may have scored 7 goals in the past 2 games, we also lost Aidan Heaven, our young, promising left-foot centre-back, to injury. How bad is the injury? How long is he out for? I don't know, but it sort of makes me want to cry. However, as usual, at Manchester United, this great club, we do have the option of turning to the academy should we have a problem in the centre-back position. And we just so happen to have another really talented, left-footed young centre-back, Godwill Kukonki. So first things about Kukonki, he is tall. He is really tall, he's really strong, he's powerful, he is a progressive player, but also quite a composed individual. The first thing though that I want to focus on is his ridiculously long legs. He's only a teenager, but this man's stride length is an absolute joke. Obviously, he's helped by the fact that he's really tall. He's 6'5", which is insane. But in situations like this, when the ball is loose, you are racing towards the ball, Kukonki has a decent stride length on him. I'm not talking about, the quickest centre-back you're ever going to see, but he can cover the ground. And I think what's important here is, yes, he has the ability to race the opponent to the ball and, like I said, really open up that stride length to munch up the ground in front of him. But importantly also, once he then actually gets towards the ball, the stride length closes. He's able to decelerate to actually match the winger. Sometimes we will see centre-backs go racing into these situations and then one turn just completely does them. Kukonki doesn't have that because he adjusts himself really well in these positions, he slows himself down, and it means that he can block the ball in these moments. Now, what is the other benefit of having really long legs? Well, it makes you, sometimes if you use them properly, a better tackler. Godwill Kukonki can have a bigger tackling range, if you like, so when opposition players are coming close to him and they're trying to knock the ball past him at the last second, he has that reach to get out and intercept the ball, to make the tackle before they can go past. It's similar to someone like Aaron Wan-Bissaka, for example. He had those almost spider-like legs, right? He would reach out and hook the ball away from the opposition when it didn't really seem possible. I think Toby Collier is another player at United who has a similar trait. Really long legs, it allows him to disrupt the opposition before they get into their flow, and Kukonki certainly has that. Really long legs helps him in these tackling situations, and I would say he is a good tackler of the ball. Of course, the other benefit though of having long legs and being 6'5" is that he's really good in the air. I mean, have you ever seen a teenager this big? I think the last time that happened to me was when I got absolutely bodied in college football. 6'5" is an absolute joke, and of course, therefore, Godwill Kukonki is strong in the air. Although there is a concern here, because sometimes when you get players that physically are clear of everyone else in their age group, which is the case in youth football for Kukonki at the moment, sometimes we see players become reliant and dependent on pure size and physical power as opposed to technique. So that is something that he's going to have to keep an eye on as he sort of progresses with his career and eventually looks to make the step up to senior football. But right now, in terms of at youth level, it makes him incredibly dominant. Now off the ball, we are talking about Kukonki like he is some big steamroller who just absolutely plows through people. But on the ball, it's the complete opposite. He may be quite big, strong, powerful, and overwhelming out of possession, but when he gets the ball at his feet, like I said, it's the opposite. This is a really, really composed young man. Someone who wants to take the ball in deep areas, in the mould of the modern day centre-back. He's very comfortable on the ball, predominantly left-footed, but also able to use the right foot as well. But I think what's more important than that is the composure, the willingness to take the ball in these areas where, you can be put under pressure and it can be difficult, but he's composed in those moments. He's happy to take extra touches on the ball to settle himself, and also he is one of those players that will take extra touches to put pressure on himself, knowing that he's going to make room for someone else. So what that means is, let's say normally a centre-back might receive this ball, and they're going to look to take one touch and then get the ball out with their feet, so this player can't get too close. What Kukonki will do, and we've seen this from other ball-playing defenders as well, is he will take extra touches to bring this player closer to him, knowing that he has the ability to deal with that pressure, but also knowing that he is going to create room for someone else to now move into. Now, in terms of clips of Kukonki, they're not the easiest thing in the world to find because it can be quite difficult to watch some of these matches, but we have seen it in moments. Take this one, for example. In a match in European competition, he is under pressure in his own penalty area. I mean, he's literally on the corner of his 6-yard box here. But what there is here is a confidence and composure. Initially, he opens up his body towards the left-hand side, and I think that's the first sign here. He's letting the ball roll across his body. But that's not a player in a rush, that is someone taking his time. But also then to manipulate the opposition. Puts his studs on the ball, drags the ball back, works the ball onto his right foot now, and then plays out from the back. This isn't, of course, elite ball playing work, but it shows a real composure, a real calm, and a technical ability to actually use both feet to get him out of these situations. And it's why I think he is potentially a really nice young ball player. Now, as well as being sort of calm and secure in the first phase, Kukonki, like I said right at the start of the video, is also legitimately a progressive centre-back, which does give him a chance to make it into Ruben Amorim's team at some point. We know that the Portuguese manager puts a focus on his outside centre-backs being able to progress the ball. That can be via the carry or via progressive passing, or in an ideal world, both. And Kukonki can do both. He can carry the ball forward. He's a powerful athlete, like we've discussed already, but also someone who, again, is confident on the ball. In the academy, he has actually played some games as a left-back, and this is perhaps where we tend to see more of his carrying prowess. So he will sort of draw a winger towards him, and then know that he's got that power to go past, know that he's got the upper body strength, the acceleration, but again, importantly, also the technique, the guile on the ball to move past these players. And I think these left-back experiences may end up making him a more progressive centre-back as he, slowly develops and evolves as a player. You can see him here on the left side of the fence, in quite a wide starting position, receiving the ball from his teammate. And again, initially, it's that relaxed body language. He's letting this ball roll across his body. This isn't someone who is playing frantically on the ball, desperately trying to get rid of it and sort of give the problem to someone else. Kukonki takes responsibility. He's happy to take the ball in this moment. And what he does is he sort of draws people in with his relaxed manner. Because he's receiving the ball slowly, he's letting it roll across his body, the Manchester City player feels as though he's got Kukonki where he wants him. So he just kind of stops, he plants himself and goes, alright, this is where I want you. But actually, this is where Kukonki wants to pressing forward, because what he then does is, in just a split second, he quickly accelerates, he pushes the ball with the weaker right foot into the wider position, and then after that, he's too powerful. He is too powerful and able to move the ball forward. And this is something that, when he eventually, hopefully, gets his breakthrough in the first team, this is something that could be really useful. Left-footed defenders that can progress the ball are one of the most sought-after profiles in world football, and we've got this in our academy. Kukonki, to be honest, at times, technically on the ball, looks levels ahead of other defenders that I've seen at that level. He's very calm, very confident, very composed. And like I said, it's not just the ball carrying, it's not just driving forward and attacking space, it's also progressing the ball via passing and subtle manipulations of the opposition. Again, often using his body language to try and lull the opposition into a false sense of security, and then he's going to punish it with the ball through the line. So he will sort of wait for that ball across his body, shape as though he wants to play to the left-hand side, sort of the safe pass to a fullback or a winger, or in the first team, a wing-back. And this means that the opposition sort of start shifting that way. They start to sort of anticipate the ball going wide so they can intercept it. What Kukonki will then do at the last second is sort of reverse the ball and fire it into the feet of one of these more centralised players. Again, it's really good progressive passing. What he probably needs to work on here is the speed of which he does it. But you can see him here playing for the England youth team, actually in a back three, which, by the way, in terms of getting into an Amorim team, the fact that he's played on the left side of a back three, that's probably a good thing. But you can see him in this position here, and what he does is he has a sneaky look here in the middle of the pitch to kind of assess what's going on, to see where his teammates are. But whilst he is looking inside the pitch, his body shape is actually more towards the outside. You can see him shoving the ball into this wider position. And the effect of this is that it looks as though he is playing down this side of the pitch. You can see the Netherlands players anticipate that. They start moving towards the wider position because that's where it looks like Kukonki is going. But because Kukonki has already had a look into the more centralised position, he knows that he's got that pass in his locker. And when I'm talking about that pass, I mean this pass. Lovely pass through the lines into the feet of this player here. Really good ball progression. You can imagine the team then setting the ball backwards into there and then playing forward. It's really good from Kukonki. It comes from a disguise, but then of course also the eye for the pass. We've got another similar one here, once again pointing out the fact that he is on the outside of a back three, which is a good sign for the first team. And again, he is shaping up as though he is going to move the ball in this sort of general direction, right? If you look at his body shape right now, let's just highlight him. Let's just highlight him here. If you look at his body shape right there, he looks as though he is playing the ball wider, right? That he's going to face this way. But he doesn't. He switches it up at the last second. He draws these defenders out wide and then sort of punches the ball through the lines into the half space for his player to move forward. And again, I think if we're talking about traits which we want to see in the first team, Kukonki is ticking the boxes. Physically, a really strong player. Technically, again, really good. He manipulates the ball, he's comfortable on the ball, he's progressive with the ball. And I think it's also the mental traits, the mental attributes, the composure in all of these moments, whether that's defending a 1v1 out wide, whether that's playing under pressure in the box, or trying to progress the ball. It's done at his own pace. He's calm, he's composed, he's got a sensible head on those young shoulders. Really broad shoulders, by the way. And that's why I think Kukonki is a really good talent for United. Am I suggesting that he is an immediate solution to the current problems, or that, we should throw him straight into the starting 11? No, probably not. He's probably not ready just yet, although maybe he could get some minutes before the end of the season. But I think certainly the next 18 months, he is one to really, really keep an eye on, because there is a player there, and that player is Godwill Kukonki, and he's really, really good. So hopefully at some point he can make the step up. In terms of today's video though, that is all I have to say for today. Now it's over to you guys. Get in the comments down below and let me know what you think of Kukonki. How good is he? How much of him have you watched? Does he deserve a chance in the Manchester United first team? Should we perhaps be looking to loan him out for their experience elsewhere? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. But apart from that, we are finished for today's video. So thank you guys for watching this. Hope you have enjoyed it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.